So the facts are pretty clear. I know we have packets for everybody. I'm more than happy now to answer any questions you guys might have.
Well, I mean, do you know if this woman, I mean, it makes a passing reference to Roseanne, his wife at the time. Do you know what sort of work this woman did for Roseanne? And second, do you know, did this woman end up getting documents? I mean, it's unclear here if she is technically illegal.
She's unauthorized to work. We know that. It's very clear in the documents. As far as her status now, that's something that you guys should talk to Congressman Blunt, as well as what work he's done. Those are questions clearly for Congressman Blunt and his family to answer. I have no doubt that you guys will be calling him right after to talk about that. What this is very clear is he knew that she was unauthorized to work, attaches that to stationery from the Secretary of State's office, tries to use his personal resources, political connections, to try to expedite a case of something that he knew was clearly wrong.
This woman was asking for political asylum, and according to what you've given us, it's paperwork that's been delayed, and she was asking for help with that. Now, what makes this wrong?
Well, this isn't about the woman. This isn't about Dora. This is about Congressman Blunt preaching one thing and doing another. Here he has someone that he knows is illegal to work. She's been doing work for the family. What that is, obviously, you guys need to talk to Congressman Blunt about. But he preaches over and over again that the asylum laws in this country are weak, that they're safe havens for terrorists. He goes out there and votes repeatedly on these things, and then he goes out and tries to go around the rules for someone that's a personal friend. This is what he does. He helps out his friends, his family, but he doesn't actually stand up for Missourians.
But wouldn't this be considered constituent business in essence?
I mean, this is something that you obviously should talk to Congressman Blunt about. What it is someone that is clearly working for him, an illegal employee that he's trying to, skirt the law.
How long have you known about?
We've obviously been pouring through the documents from the Secretary of State's office for quite some time, so it's taken quite a while to get through all the boxes.
So this was found in the archives?
Yep, this is found in the archives. There's a public document about it. I can tell you the box number that it's in after this, so you guys can get it yourself, but yes, it's in the archives.
And again, explain why this woman would not have been allowed to work. If she had applied for political asylum, she still couldn't work.
I think you have to talk to an immigration, expert about that. There's an immigration lawyer.
You're making it serious charge.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want you to back it up.
He's right here, listed on the paper that he attaches, employment not authorized. Everyone's pretty clear about the fact that she was not authorized to work. So, this is pretty black and white on that.
And I think we're going to take some questions on the phone here. Is there anyone on the phone that's queued up to take a question?
Kansas City Star, Corey. Could you tell me how the Democratic Party got hold of these documents? Did you file an open records request with the state of Missouri, or were they found by employees of the Secretary of State's office? And if so, was it proper for Robin Carnahan's staff to actually go through the files of the former Secretary of State?
Great question. This was nothing done on official staff time. It was filed through a sunshine request from the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, the DSCC, and been pouring through all these boxes. So it was found through a traditional open records request, and we can get everybody the box number and files that they're under.
I don't really need the box number, but I would like to have a copy, if you can provide it, of the Sunshine Law request so that we can see how broad it was or wasn't. And second, let me just ask you this, having read the letter from Secretary of State Blunt, where does he ask to grant her expedited citizenship? What language does he use?
It's very clear that he's reaching out to Gene McNary, the Commissioner of Immigration, a high-level person that most ordinary Missourians wouldn't have a chance to reach out to, and talking about the fact, I decided that if the guy you know best at immigration can help with this, then that's, send it on to him. It's clear that he's trying to find and use his personal connection.
But why is it, how is it clear? What language does he use that specifically asks for expedited citizenship for Dora?
An early resolution of this request instead of waiting in line like everybody else.
And of what request, though? My understanding of the request was that it be transferred to the Kansas City office, and not that the actual provision of citizenship be made. Is he explicit about that in the letter?
That's something that you should ask him about.
Well, right, but I don't see anything explicit there. You're making the accusation. I'm just asking you to provide the language, Corey, that specifically asks for the expedited citizenship, as opposed to moving the case to Kansas City, which that clause could also refer to.
I think he's trying to move it along and grease the wheels as much as he can on this, as he has the history of doing for all of his family and friends.
Yeah. Do you have any evidence that it worked?
I do not know. That's a question for Congressman Blunt.
Have you been in contact with Dora?
I have not, no.
As the party?
About Dora. This is about Congressman Blunt trying to preach one thing and do another, have a strong record of talking about, asylum laws and this and that, and then going above and beyond to try to help a woman that he knows was illegally working for him.
And then the final question for me, anyway, what evidence do you have that she worked for him, other than she did some work for Roseanne?
That's something you should definitely talk to him about.
Right, and he's going to claim that it was informal work at the church. Do you have any evidence to the contrary?
I think it says pretty clear that he was trying to, done some work for Roseanne, not volunteering, anything like that. And as well, the letter that comes back from McNary includes the authorization to work for him.
This is David Lee with the Associated Press, and Corey, we're having some trouble hearing you over the phone, but I actually have the same question that Dave did, and that is, are you relying solely on the one phrase in that letter that says she has done some work for Roseanne to imply that she literally was employed by the Blunts? Because the Blunts say she was not employed. What he's referring to is the fact that she helped volunteer at the church with Roseanne, which is, of course, an entirely different situation than employing an illegal immigrant. Do you have any other evidence?
I think that the fact that he, included with McNary's response the authorization to work form, clearly coming back that she was not authorized to work, trying to grant that. I think if they were trying to get volunteer status, they would have made that pretty clear.
Well, yeah, she wanted the form so that she could work, but what evidence do you have that she actually had been employed by the Blunts, other than that one phrase in that letter? Do you have anything else?
He refers to as working for Roseanne. I think you could talk to him and, talk to her about that as well.
So that's the essence of what you based the entire claim that she had been employed by the Blunts on that one phrase in that one sentence?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to be clear.
Okay, thanks, everyone. Corey's got another meeting to get to. So.
Wait a minute. You guys are making a serious charge here. Well, I want to ask a couple questions. First, are you raising questions about the fact that he did it on Secretary of State's letterhead? Why would the Secretary of State be involved in it?
Absolutely. He's trying to make it very clear that he's using his official capacity and official office and official connections to expedite her status, instead of waiting in line, as McNary said that he's supposed to do.
But you don't have any evidence that she actually worked for them, other than this reference.
Other than when he says that she had worked for Roseanne.
So she could have been doing volunteer work for her.
That's, again, a question for Congressman Blunt and for her.
But, sir, there's a big difference here. You're making a serious allegation that this man violated the law by paying an illegal immigrant. If he wasn't paying her, this is moot.
These are legal questions for legal people. What we're talking about is Roy Blunt clearly preaching one set of rules and abiding by another, and using his state resources, his personal political connections to try to do things that average Missourians can't. He says one thing in Washington. He's out on TV right now talking tough on immigration, when clearly he has a record of employing people that are not able to work. This isn't about the woman or anything like that. This is about Congressman Blunt's clear hypocrisy in this matter.
Okay, if you guys have any other questions, you can direct them to Ryan Hobart, the party, and thanks very much for joining us.